What can we expect to see in Path of Titans in 2025? Well, we didn't get the usual outlook to the new year in December, and we'll likely get one this month. But we can arguably piece together an idea of what we could expect to come to the game this year. This might soon be proven right or wrong, but let's just get into what we could expect in 2025 for Path of Titans. We can definitely expect to see more AI coming to populate Path of Titans in 2025, arguably in the form of critters, because I'm not gonna lie, I don't really think dinosaur AI will come to the game this year. There is definitely one critter we can expect, and that is Pamelaria, which was recently teased in their last dev blog of 2024, which was for December. This is a new and upcoming AI critter that is completely modeled, textured, and even animated. This would likely be one of the first critters to be released into the game's ecosystem, and it looks to be a similar critter to that of Bargaceratops in terms of its temperament, so once again, be on the lookout because this little beast might come and eat your toes. But I don't think that is the last thing we'll see for critters this year. We'll arguably see some more land-based critters to come to the game this year, but I also think that AI fish, or the aquatic AI, will get an overhaul this year as well. So, of course, last year we got some teasers at the start of the year with two fish critters. One that was a prehistoric lungfish, and the other was an ammonite. And that, I think, will be coming to the game this year. These to me are pretty much expected in my eyes. AI is integral to Path of Titans, and naturally, I think once the AI critters on the land have been developed, I think the next thing will be the AI critters in the ocean to be developed. So naturally, I'd expect AI critters in the ocean, the fish, the sharks, the rays, everything like that that's currently in the ocean to be overhauled, because the developers did say they want it to be more prehistoric than it is currently and remove the placeholders that they have at the moment. But I'm really hoping that we get aggressive shark AI as well. But imagine that, like Bargaceratops on the land, but a shark in the ocean hunting your baby creatures. That would be terrifying. But what else can we expect this year? Because that's not all. Set to come to Path of Titans in some form last year, we saw heaps of testing for Team Deathmatch, Capture the Egg, and King of the Hill, as well as them technically being available in the game's mod section to download for us all. I personally think this year game modes would come into the public realm as being a mainstay event in Path of Titans in the matchmaking system. In the devlog at the start of December, they touched up about this, as they mentioned they had done more public testing for the King of the Hill game mode, which was one of the ones that had lesser amount of testing conducted. It's likely we could either see these released sometime in the year, or they wait until the final game mode is ready, which is Last Herbivore Standing, and release that one together with the other three. But for the main three, TDM, CTE, and COTH, they have all been tested on and off for the best part of a year now. So ultimately, I think they're very, very close. I want to quickly touch up upon the solo servers as well, because I do believe 2025 could be the year that they go out of their testing phase and into a more public stage as an additional option to the main multiplayer matchmaking servers. That being said, I do think that this might not happen for a while, because I see a fair few users reporting that these servers are now slowly getting overrun with groups. So while they are in the testing phase, I don't think that A, they'll go away anytime soon, but also B, they will need to properly figure out how to solve the group issue before pushing them to be live. The audio system within Path of Titans will be changing this year. Arguably, I mean, that's technically one of the biggest things that the developers have promised to us in December, and their December devlog that they were working on already shown teasers of. This, as I said, was highlighted in that December devlog at the start of last month. They said they wanted to do a broad improvement to overhaul Distant Dinosaurs audio, with the recent feedback from their single player and permadeath mode tests making it clear that the current setup is lacking in ways that negatively impact the solo experience. Firstly, they said they'll be updating the footstep audio, and they expressed that this will be the first element that will be getting an overhaul with more accurate and engaging sounds, and they will sound better at a distance as well. But the updates will not stop there. They also said they want to better the vocalizations for larger dinosaurs, such as aggressive and broadcast calls, and that they will get similar treatment soon. So I think this update will come in 2 parts this year. Firstly, footstep audio overhauls will come first. I think this is the biggest change that the developers want to push, so it gets the limelight and will probably come quick in 2025. But I also think after that we'll probably see the audio calls get tweaked. Now this will be for every single dinosaur, so might take a little bit while to get chucked out than the footstep audio. This equally was something they even teased, with a new version of the footstep audio even showcased for us to listen to. So let me know your thoughts. Here it is, I'll play it now so you know what you could expect from this. We technically started or ended 2024 and started 2025 with a TLC, as Pachycephalosaurus pretty much straddled the new year, as some saw it release on New Year's Day like I did, and others in America saw it release on New Year's Eve. And of course, we'll be seeing more of these in 2025. The developers have openly acknowledged that pretty much every dinosaur will get a TLC sometime in the future for Path of Titans. This could either be a model rework or an ability overhaul, or both of them. We know some have been name dropped, like that of the Thalassodromeus, Allosaurus and Barsboldia said to be getting TLCs in the future, but I do think, of course, Barsboldia is a definite to come this year. We actually know that this one is properly coming, with the developers working on the area of effect attack reworks currently, with some bugs that they believe to have encountered and are working on fixing them, and they've reiterated that one a lot. This is basically the same thing we saw with the fracture reworks as well, and now that Pachycephalosaurus got a TLC that included fracture, you'd then maybe think that technically Barsboldia might not even be the next TLC to come to the game, and that instead it will be a dinosaur that would benefit from the recent fracture overhauls. Right? I mean, that's my opinion, but you could probably see it making sense, couldn't you? But that actually ties into my next point. The area of effect rework. The area of effect mechanic is technically undergoing a rework that we will apparently see once the Barsboldia TLC is released. Now, we do not know the extent of the rework to this mechanic. It could essentially just better the radius and a small tweak for area of effect attacks themselves, or it could be a large change like that what we saw with Bone Break, when fracture was then introduced as a brand new mechanic to go alongside Bone Break itself with the Daspletosaurus TLC. We do know, however, this mechanic is getting development and will be released alongside the game's Barsboldia TLC, and we'll probably definitely see that one this year. The foliage rework is one of the most anticipated reworks for Path of Titans. This is something that will change the game's environment entirely, from the ferns on the ground to the trees that make up the forests. The idea is that the developers want the players to feel more immersed and at home in a prehistoric world with ancient flora to help develop that further, with cycads, ferns and conifer trees and so much more. But that isn't the only reason they're doing this, because they're also wanting to keep mobile players in mind. These changes will help mobile players render in the new foliage because they are able to lower the complexity of the trees and bushes to allow them to render better in mobile, but also without making them look chunky and lack in detail like they currently do. This is something the developers are paying extra attention to for this rework, and while they haven't been showcasing too much of it recently, it's likely that the silence means they are quietly chugging along with the rework itself. This, I think, if it comes this year, it will be in the back end of the year. This is one of the biggest reworks planned for Path of Titans itself, alongside arguably the quest rework, but I technically think this will be even bigger because it changes the gameplay and the whole world that you're playing in. But equally, it ties into a dinosaur that we might also see this year. Last year we saw 4 playables introduced into Path of Titans, and we'll likely see the same thing happen this year. Starting with Microraptor actually, because this is the final dinosaur in the Jagged Bundle, which has Rhamphorhynchus, Miragaia, and Achillobator, as well as Microraptor as well. This, as I have said, is technically set to be the next dinosaur to release in the game, because I don't think the developers will drop another bundle that includes, like, you know, Tylosaurus and Leedichthys if the current one isn't complete. They've even stressed that they don't want to release incomplete bundles as well, so I think they want to get this one out of the way. A lot of people theorize that this little glider will be releasing alongside a foliage rework due to it having a tree climbing and gliding mechanic, so it would make sense that the foliage rework should happen before Microraptor is released. Arguably, I could see them releasing at the same time. Tylosaurus and Leedichthys are the last 2 properly known playables outside of Microraptor, and arguably 2 slightly more simpler playables to develop, so I can see them coming out in quick succession after Microraptor. Building on the framework that is Uranosaurus and Kaiwekia, Tylosaurus will be the apex carnivore of the game's oceans, whereas Leedichthys will be a relatively peaceful filter-feeding one that inhabits the oceans as well, unless it goes down the same route that Ark does, making it a bloodthirsty killer. While I think these 2 will come this year, I think they'd come after Microraptor, due to the fact that I don't think the developers want to have an incomplete bundle on their store page. So it really depends how that goes about. Now, part of me is also thinking a 4th dinosaur will release in 2025, and that to me would be the Mystery Dinosaur. This, in my eyes, would ideally be around Christmas, because imagine a Christmas surprise that is actually the Mystery Dinosaur, and not what we saw this year where we all thought it was the Mystery Dinosaur and it definitely wasn't the Mystery Dinosaur. I feel like it would have a lot less drama to it and a lot more hype around it. But as for that, everybody, that is everything to do with what you could expect to come to Path of Titans in 2025. Now remember, this was a theory video. Arguably, we'll probably get some information coming out about this soon in an upcoming devlog. So when that comes out, you know I'll be covering it, and if you want to be kept in the loop, feel free to subscribe for more Path of Titans news. Other than that, everybody, Happy New Year, and I'll see you all in the next one. Have a great day. Peace.